Guys, I did it. I finally talked to a girl for the first time in my life. Anyways, I'm just kidding. But I did go on a date for the first time in a few months this past weekend. And I wanted to talk a bit about it a little bit and share the struggle I've been finding myself facing kind of over and over whenever I do happen to meet someone new in the pursuit of a relationship. And that is the dreaded word commitment. And man, I don't know why, but it's tough for me. So let me get into it a little bit and I'll explain. About 2 weeks ago, I started talking to this girl, decent girl. She was giving me all the green lights, so I took her out. The first date went well, and the other night we went out for the second date, where I more or less gathered the same opinion on her. She was nice, decently attractive. She liked my humor and we could get along well. And she showed a lot of interest in me, which is, massive plus. Yet pretty much right when it's over, I've dropped her off, I've headed home. I am contemplating how I felt, and time again with anyone I've ever gone out with, I start to fear the idea of being in a relationship and committing to someone. Now, I promise I'm not this shallow, but when I've tried to figure out how it is that literally every time I meet someone who I could totally get along with, I come up with two answers for why I don't want to date. One being that maybe I just can't see myself with them despite them being a perfectly fine person. The second, however, is I think I'm afraid of putting myself in a relationship and then finding or missing out on a person I might find more suitable, more my taste. And I honestly don't really like that answer because I feel like I sound like a shitty person, which I truly don't think I am. So to provide a bit more context, I think it's worth noting, I'm also only 22 years old. And I think in general, it's agreed upon that 22 is not an age where being in a full-blown relationship, finding your lifelong partner is something you need to worry about. But the trend of me meeting someone and then being so uncertain of my feelings and if I want to pursue them, the trend of this happening with me has been ongoing. And so this idea kind of does float in the back of my mind. Now, what I could say is that maybe a better way to look at how I've been going about dating is a little bit more strict, in the sense that, like, if I can't see myself with someone long term, I just don't waste their time any further. And I don't know, maybe that's a funny way to spin it in my favor, but I do think it's a valid point. There are a lot of people out there who are in short-term relationships, and to me, I can understand how getting the experience from dating is important. However, I honestly see it as a bit of a waste of time, because for me at least, I don't necessarily want to be married young or marry my first official girlfriend. But I do want my relationship to be with someone I could actually envision a life and a future with. Now, I'm also almost the only one of my friends without a girlfriend, and it makes me maybe a tad, not necessarily feeling FOMO, but I guess it makes me feel a bit of pressure, or that I am missing out. Yet at the same time, I don't exactly envy their situation. I can see the time that's involved in a relationship, and that's when this whole commitment thing comes right back to me. Like, I'm not sure if I'm just selfish or if I just love having time to work on myself to, which eventually would make me more ready for a relationship. Or at least that's what I think, right? So really what I'm trying to figure out is if it's worth it to pursue a relationship with someone that I'm uncertain of to gain the experience, if maybe over time we become better for each other, or if I should just keep doing what I'm already doing, which is going on dates, but only willing to commit when I feel like I have actually found the one. if that ever even happens though, right? So yeah, man, I don't know. This is a tough one for me, but I'd love to hear in the comments some of your guys' stories and how you went about your dating life and relationships. Maybe give me a little bit of insight, but I don't know. Commitment, man. Big struggle. That's all I wanted to share. Peace.